Hey, everyone, and welcome to Val-Talk Live. I am Valerie R. Brooks, owner and founder of Valerie R. Brooks Real Estate and Business Academy. And I'm all about helping you achieve real world success. Real world success. We are beyond the books. I've been there, done that, from closing $1 million deals to rebuilding from scratch. And today I'm bringing you another incredible leader who's walked the walk. Her name is Terese Swan Hutchinson. But first, I want to tell you about something special I've created for those of you ready to take your real estate game to the next level. It's my Build Her membership and courses. It's your direct access to the strategies that help me. It helped me with my strategies that helped me to build a sustainable multi-million dollar business. We're talking live coaching, exclusive courses. You're going to meet people like Miss Hutchinson. When you see her today and hear her story, it's incredible. Mindset tools and a support community of women who are building their own real estate empire. So click on the link in our chat and grow. Click and grow is my motto. Again, today we have Terese Swan Hutchinson. This woman is a true powerhouse, y'all. She owns Carolina Therapeutic Services, the Dooby Shop, the Dooby Shop School of Cosmetology, and she's also a successful entrepreneur, and she invests in real estate. Teresa is someone who truly understands the hustle. And let me tell you, I'm incredibly proud to be Teresa's realtor. She just invested in another amazing property in the historic Beatties Ford area, now known as Black Wall Street. It is so inspiring for me to see her making moves and building her legacy. That is why I wanted her to be my first guest. She's my first guest, guys. And she's going to come back, right, Teresa? You're going to come back. I
Absolutely.
can't hear you.
Yes.
All righty.
Yes,
Now,
absolutely. Can you hear me? All right.
I can hear you now. That's great. Now, Teresa's here to
Okay.
give us the behind the scenes look at her journey, the sacrifices, the triumphs, and the mindset that drives her success. And y'all, and yeah, I said y'all, I'm a true Southern Belle. I'm proud of it. I'm thrilled to ask Teresa several questions, and uh, we're gonna go. We're just gonna go. Okay, you're gonna hear about her journey, her sacrifices, everything. I love her mindset, and I'm so happy that she's sharing it with you. So, Therese, I have a question for you. I have several questions for you. I am all about keeping it real. And the truth is, building something meaningful takes serious dedication. And back in '07, '08, and 9, I went from $1 million deal to
Absolutely.
flat broke. So talk about a wake up call. Rebuilding meant giving up a lot, weekends,
Mm.
vacations, even sleep. So, what were some of those tough choices that you had to make when you were first starting out?
Wow. Well, first, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I'm very honored to be your first guest. And thank you for all you've done for me and assisting with my latest ventures. But some of the struggles that I've had, I can say that being an entrepreneur and business person, how you mentioned how you failed and got back apart right there, is just very important. Like I don't know of too many successful people that have not fallen and gotten back up, including myself. One of the greatest struggles for me was, of course, opening my school. I failed the state board
Mhm.
exam inspection 10 times before I finally passed, and that took like several years of construction, like 3 years. Yes, and a
Uh,
lot of money, time, sweat, equity, blood, sweat, and tears. But again, I did not give up because I knew what my vision was. I knew what God had for me. So again, just stay the course, trust in the process. But that process was very challenging and costly. But again, I do believe that pressure builds diamonds. So
what?
I think it's all for a purpose. So I don't regret any of it.
Now, you know what? You are killing it with Carolina Therapeutic Services as well, the Dooby Shop, and investing in your real estate. So that's some serious entrepreneurial hustle. And it's been about grit and grace for me when endeavoring to build a business that could run itself, even when it throws you a curveball. So, just recently I had to step away from my business and it wasn't by choice. It wasn't by choice. So, I do want to know behind what you just said, what is your driving force? What drives you to continue? What drives you after those, I think you said 3 years, but you failed ten times? What kept you motivated? What were you driven by?
One of the main things that kept me motivated and driven was the haysayers, the doubters. I had a lot of the one thing you can do is tell me something that I do, because I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna prove you wrong for that, because no one can stop them. So that was a huge part of it, as well as my passion, make sure that I was giving back the same opportunity that I was given, which was an opportunity to become an entrepreneur. And with a hair by trade, starting in that industry at such a young age, opening at the age of 21, I was able to
Wow.
feed my family, take care of my children, and not have anyone tell me when I can work, when I could not work. So what happened was I had an interview. I was going to be hired. At that time, it was a company, I think it was called IBM. I was going to be making, pretty good money. I went for my
Yeah.
final interview, and they told me that I couldn't be hired. I found out that I was pregnant, so they weren't going to hire me in corporate America because they knew that it was going to have to occur like healthcare costs. So the next day, I enrolled in cosmetology school. So what that taught me was I had to create income that I could constantly make, where no one could tell me when I could feed my family. No one could tell me, no, you can't come to work today. When I can come to work and when I can feed my family.
That's so powerful. I love that. I love that. And I can relate 100%. Now, I've got a question to ask you because I just admired this about you through our transaction. Um, Now, I think we've encountered people, all of us have encountered people who are incredibly successful on paper, but seems to lack basic emotional intelligence. I once had a client, a highly successful businessman who was incredibly rude and condescending. I mean, it was almost as if his financial status gave him the right to treat others like crap. And I didn't like that. So I had to
Wow.
gently put him in his place and remind him that respect is a two-way street. So, and it doesn't matter about where you are in your life. He got the message and he calmed down. Now, on the flip side,
Mm-hmm.
I had the pleasure of working with you, and I've witnessed firsthand how you handle challenging situations. You handled
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing to me, and that's one reason I wanted to have you on my Val-Talk. It's because you handled, and we had quite a few challenging
Yeah.
situations, and you handled it with grace
Yes.
and composure. Your composure was amazing. So, in your experience, how important is the emotional intelligence that you displayed? How is it important for it to build trust and lasting success? And you deal with people
That's
from all
very
walks
important.
of life. Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's very important. You have to have patience. You just have to, because first of all, you want to treat people how you want to be treated at all times. And
Right.
second, God cannot bless you and take you into certain areas if you have not proven that you can conduct yourself,
Hmm.
follow policies, procedures, rules, and you're not going to always agree. I don't always agree. And I tell my students, staff, everyone, I don't make the rules, I follow the rules. Whether it's the rules with my behavioral health agency, with accreditation, whether it's state board,
Hmm.
I have to follow those rules, and I just have to pass those rules down.
Hmm.
So I firmly believe that in business, and you also have to be approachable. If people don't really like you as a person, it's going to be really hard for people to support you.
Hmm.
So again, I have a true, genuine care for people, whether it's babies for, and I tell my students, staff, the only time we should look down on anyone is if we're looking down to help them up, because we never know when any of us from the behavioral health side, because I run into a lot of individuals on base four that have just had life changing situations that cause their situations today, whether it's death, whether it's they're somewhere and someone slipped something in their drink.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things can happen beyond your control, and you can become a product of your environment or your circumstance. So again, you never want to judge anyone by what they are, because again, you just never know their story. So again, everyone has a story. So treat everyone the same way, because you never know who that person is that's sitting in your chair.
That's right.
You never know who that person is that's walking in your door. So if you treat everyone the same, you don't have to worry about coming back and apologizing. Oh, I didn't know you were such and such. Well, you should have treated me the same regardless of who I was.
So I want to follow up with that. That is, again, that's amazing, and that is very impactful. Um, I want to ask you a question, piggybacking, is it piggybacking? Yeah, piggybacking off of what you just said. Now, I bought my first house at 19, but building business doesn't happen overnight, like you said. And I want to know, when did you first realize you wanted to be an entrepreneur? I heard that about IBM. I want to know, was that your defining moment or was it another moment? And then this is a three-part question. What sparked your desire?
Okay,
And
you know
what's
what?
your
Okay,
huh?
what's my why? Okay, so I'm gonna first start with the when did I know that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. That started
Okay.
well beyond that age. At the age of 12, I started. I used to have paper route. I sold candy at school. Um, I did my family and friends' hair. I would order things online and make things. I want to sell little baskets, and I've just always had. I don't know. It's a entrepreneurship spirit that I always have had. A desire to create things, do things, make things happen. I'm a visionary, right? So I can
Okay.
envision things that I want to come to pass, but then I have to delegate. We have to learn how
Yep.
to delegate people to assist with that. So I consider myself to be a visionary. So I envision a lot of things. Sometimes I have to slow my mind down. I'm like, whoa, 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 Terese, you just
Mm-hmm.
back it up a little bit. Your plate is full now. But yeah, that started at a very early age, and then school is when I started to actually do my own hair. And I would just go to school, and people would be like, "Well, what? Who did your hair?" And I did. So I cut one side off, color it blonde, and I did a little salt and pepper look. And everyone thought that I went to a salon, because my parents couldn't afford to send me to a salon, so I had to learn on my own. And that's when I learned, hey, you're really good at this, and you're really fast, and you can make money at it as well. So I enrolled in school that day after I was told. I enrolled in school and opened 1 year after I graduated, and it's just been on from there. And within the next 7, 8 years after that, got into the
Mm-hmm.
behavioral health care industry. Opened my
Mm-hmm.
first group home. I had 4 girls group homes in Charlotte. I had a passion for wanting to help young ladies. So that believe it or not, the fields go hand in hand, and having that experience with behavioral health and mental health helps me on the hair care side as well, because again, we deal with a lot of different personalities in this field. And a lot of most of it is women. We
Yep.
can be very emotional
Yep.
people at
Mm-hmm.
times, so that to maintain a certain sense of calmness, and I can really kind of understand when people are having just a bad day and relate to them because of that experience for the behavioral health side as well.
And you see, everybody, I talk about emotional intelligence all of the time. It has to do with every step of your business, no matter what. Because if you're in a
Yeah.
people business, now you may not have to have it if you're behind computers all day, unless you can tell your computer, calm down, but you can't do that. But if you're working with people, that is very important. And that is why it's one of my classes, but because of the fact that I've had so many people, so many realtors, Terese, to tell me, Valerie, I want to learn more about numbers. Well, numbers are the people that's in your business. So you want to learn about
Yes.
helping the people and being good to the
Hmm.
people and knowing how to work with the people. So what's your why? What?
Hmm.
No, 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 no. I'm not going to ask you your why yet. I'm going to bounce off of something you said about delegating. Now, I noticed that you have some incredibly loyal people on your team. I met your assistant, I met your business partner, and I spoke with your Reno expert that's helping you renovate your newest venture. And I think that's amazing. And I just believe that relationships are very important in the workplace. And for me, building that initial relationship with my assistant was a stepping stone to creating a strong team. So, have you approached building that
Absolutely.
kind of loyalty, long term commitment with your team? What advice would you give everybody?
I would give advice. I'm learning to meet people where they're at, where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and not put my off on you. You know, I believe that's important. I believe you're only as strong as your team, and I believe that I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. I'm not going to talk to you any way that I don't want to be talked to. I'm not going to say or do anything that I don't want you to say or do. I am. There is going to be a certain level of respect, but respect goes both ways as well. But there has to be
Mm-hmm.
someone that maintains the order, right? And I call it being the one that everyone loves to hate, right? And you have to be okay with that, being an entrepreneur, because you have to be the one to enforce the rules, the policies, and that doesn't always look pretty, right? But again, you have to be the one to do that. So that takes tough. It takes tough skin, and you have to learn how to separate the business from the pleasure. Because I can enforce the policies, procedures with you, rules, and then we can go and hang out, have dinner, and it's nothing personal that's going to filter over into that. Because again, at the end of the day, it has to maintain business and not personal. If not, what happens is you start to water down and you start to make the business side a
Mm-hmm.
hostile and uncomfortable environment, right? And that's one thing that I'm very firm about with the behavioral health or the school, that what
Mm-hmm.
did the policy say? It's not what Miss Terese said, it's what the policy said. And I use the staff all the time. And they'll say, well, okay, well, Miss Terese said you can't come to school because you don't have a uniform. Miss Terese didn't say that. The policy said that. So if you're following the policy and you're doing your job, you're just enforcing the rules. You're not doing what I said, because that way, when you do that, you're taking your power away. You don't have to say I told you to do something. You're doing your job.
That's right. We walk the same walk, and it's so wonderful to hear you saying that because I'm a learner, huh? What'd you say, Teresa? Did you
I was
say
making sure I
anything?
answered that correctly. I was making sure I
Oh
answered
yes,
that
you
question.
did. Thank you. I mean, you're on point. I'm actually loving this conversation because we've walked. It's amazing to hear someone else that walked my walk, and I learn on a daily basis. Do you still learn? Are you still learning certain things as you go?
Abs- Absolutely. I believe you can never stop learning. When you feel the point you've arrived and you can no longer learn, it's like having that closed hand. Not if a closed hand can't give or receive. There's always something I can learn. You either and everything that you go through is either you learn from it or you grow from it. It's never anything by accident. Because if you learn from it, then that means it's not a mistake. You can always go back and learn from that. And that brings me to my why, which is
Yes.
my 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 boys. I have three amazing boys. My family. I love and live for family time. And I tell my boys the same thing. They can call me and having a bad day, and I'll tell them, you have to find something good out of it. I don't care. My oldest, and everyone knows. Well, a lot of my close friends knows that was in a very bad car accident about last 2 years ago this time.
Mm-hmm.
Even during that process, I had to find something positive to hold on to,
Mm-hmm.
because if not, the negative will consume you with staying in Chicago for 4 months with my son in ICU.
Mm,
Even with him, he had his a right kidney removed, 10 surgeries, and I still told him,
mm.
prayed with him every day. And when he got out, you still have to find a positive. The positive is you're still here. That glass has to always be looked at as half full and not half empty. Because if not, because God says that trials and tribulations will come, not might come, but they will come. So it's just all a matter of when it's going to come, and it's all according to your faith. And I have such a huge support system with that as well. With my bishop, Rick Williams, has been a
Yeah.
great support system.
Mm.
My mentors, the Dudley, Mr. Dudley, Mrs. Dudley's, Mr. Chin. So again, surrounding yourself with people,
Mhm.
friends, and family that support you. All of those are my why, because I don't want to disappoint those people. I don't want to disappoint my family. I don't want to disappoint my. So again, I pray for a lot of these things. So if I pray for it, I have it when it happens.
Your faith walk is strong. That was such a powerful question. Answer. Um, Faith is the size of a mustard seed, but as you grow, the mustard seed grows into mountains. So I do want to know one other why. You chose to invest in the Beatties Ford area, which is now called Black Wall Street. Why Beatties Ford? Why that area?
Yes, yeah, I get that a lot. Now I'm going to tell you, I have to go back, take that back just a little. But why is because I feel like Batesford Road for years has been sort of like that stepchild that no one wanted to adopt, right? It was
Right.
that area where everyone would want to say, well, don't go to that side of town, don't go on that street. And when I came here, it's been 20 years this year.
Hmm.
I had that same mentality. I was in Charlotte pretty much. I'm not born and raised here, but I've been here most of my life. And so I knew about Beatties Ford Road. So I was assuming I'm just going to go there for business. That's where the clientele good base is going to be at. I'm with numbers. The location was there. Demographic. Okay, that's a great location. I didn't know until about 5 years after that. Just coming, I was like, I'm just going to come do my business there, go to work, come home, and come back. But I was convicted after about 5 years of being blessed here. God, to come into work every day and pass these people in this area and not in that area, and that's where you're being blessed at. That's where you're eating at. So I terrible. I adopted after that. So I now do a community cleanup quarterly that we do. And I also felt like I wanted to purchase in Beatties Ford because after being here for 20 years, I've been seeing so much, with the negativity. So now I want to be a part of the positive side of that. And I believe that's very important that we keep that legacy as well. So that we make sure that we're maintaining that legacy. We can be proud of that, of our community. We fought hard to get to this point where we could be called Black Wall Street because we've been called a lot of stuff in the past, and Black Wall Street was definitely not one of them. So I
Yeah,
Black Wall
that's
Street
okay.
over, oh, you know, location where the people hang out at. I had to hear all that for years. So now it's an honor and a blessing, and it's nothing but God that it worked out that I was able to obtain that right here on the corner where my school is at. And again, thank you again for that. You have been a huge part of that success that is still more in the makings.
That is. It's still more in the making. We have a lot of work to do. I remember once, let me back up just a little bit. My niece and nephew owns a commercial, not, what is it, office space on Beatties Ford. And she has many office spaces in there, and I get my nails done there. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
giving a young lady my nail tech's information because she loves my nails. And Terese, she said, I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
Vegas Ford Road. And I asked her why.
I heard it.
And she said, are you not afraid to go over there? I said, absolutely not. I said, Vegas Ford Road needs people like us that can help and share. What am I
Mm-hmm.
saying when I say that, Terese? Because you and I had that
Oh,
conversation.
like people of color. People of color. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's right.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
so
So,
I've heard that for years. years, I've had students, staff when it was a salon, because I was a salon here for 10 years before I changed it to a salon, a school. So
Mhm.
I would even have staff would tell me they wouldn't want to work at that location, or my husband said I can't work there or do, it's bad in that area. Again,
Mhm.
I always told people out of the 10 locations I had in and around Charlotte, this is the one location I've
Mhm.
never had a break in. Never. I pray over all the locations, but again, something about someone moving around on the corner over here all the time to see something, I guess, but not one break in. And I've had break ins at each and every other location, but not one here
Mhm.
at the LaSalle and Bakersford. And I had three on Bakersford at one time, at the Sunset,
Mhm.
the down at John C. Smith, and this one. And each of those even had break ins. Not one break in here out of 20 years. And I'm very proud of that. Even when they had the riots, like city council at that time, I think it was Mr. Malcolm Graham
Mhm.
called. I called. I said, Terese, you're good. You're good. You're good. So again, it's very important to not be a part of that. Like it bothers me so much when I hear people of color say that,
Yes.
because it's like, how can you say that? I'm sure you got some cousins,
Mhm.
family. There is a lot of
Mhm.
wealth,
Mhm.
generational wealth that came from Bates Fort Road, right?
That-
So again, for me, it's sort of like a slap in the face to feel that you are too good to come to an area. Now, I'm saying you got to move over here, but to, just to say like, I'm not
Business.
coming on that.
I get it,
I can't relate to people like that.
yeah, it's kind of hard, and I get that because when I was in South End, and when my niece opened her co-working space, it was a natural movement for me to go over there, and she's located at 1202 Beatties Ford Road, and I've never had a better experience in the salon. It's clean, it's beautiful, and it's very welcoming.
Mm,
I just wish more people of color would find out and would support that area. Thus, one reason I have you on here because we need to spread the word. But I do have another question, and my team just told me we're getting close to the time. Uh, I knew about your son and his accident. You and I talked about that because I was in a bad car accident myself, so I know where you've been. And since that accident, I tell everybody, I have a slight speech impediment, and I'm nervous about public speaking. And it's something I've had to overcome. And even when I was building my membership, I have one burning question to ask you.
right.
What makes you nervous in the business world? Are there any situations,
Okay.
challenges that make
Believe
you
it or
anxious?
not, I still get a little nervous about public speaking, but I take on the challenge every time. My mentor, Mr. Dudley, told me he would always call me to the front of the class when we would have any classes or shows. He would like, Miss Dooby, come on up to class. I'm like, God, you call me. And he told me one day, he said, "Do you know why I always call you to the front?" I said, "No, why? Why can you stop doing it?" He said, "No, because in order to be prepared for where God is taking you, you have to get used to public speaking." At the time, I had no idea. I didn't know I was going to be an educator. So I understand, trust the process. And each time it got a little easier and a little easier. And for that reason, I have my not only that, but being able to speak publicly is huge for your confidence. Okay. And being a hairstylist, you have to be confident. So I have my students, every project, presentation, everything they do, I make them go to the front of the class and stand up and speak in front of the class so that I can start breaking that
Mhm.
shell and building that confidence now while they're in school, because it's just very important that they do that.
I agree. And I tell you what, you are representing your company well because your hair is fire. Okay. Your hair looks amazing.
I try. Thank you. So do you. You look beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I knew you were going to look incredibly gorgeous. So I said, let me represent today. We'll both represent. And I want to thank you for sharing your incredible journey. It's been so inspiring. I love being around motivational and inspiring people that uh, in the position to pass the torch and gladly teaching the torch, the new torch holders. I love that. And um, it
Yes.
enforces something
Yeah.
I've learned along the way. Investing in yourself and investing in your business, they're non-negotiable. And you've just said all of that. And this encompasses a lot of, I would say, 60% of owning business. Wouldn't you say? Would you not say that hiring,
Yes.
investing in yourself, that's a non negotiable? Emotional intelligence, all of that ties in. I think I'm going to go up to say that maybe even 80% of your business because, like you said, your team is what makes your business. And then your brain power also.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think about that?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. That's you hit it dead on. Like, I mean, you have to have that. If you don't, it's very hard to be successful. If you don't believe that. And the training, again, training is very important. You can never stop
Mm-hmm.
learning. Never. I don't care how long I've been in this industry. I still even learn from my students.
Mm-hmm.
I have students coming here, um, and my staff
Mm-hmm.
that do these wigs. Like, we just added the wig making program. And some of these girls like YouTube and a lot of these things, they have a lot they're learning now. So they come in and they're showing the educators things that we didn't know. So again, we can always learn something from someone. So learning is a
Yeah.
constant part of the process. February the 3rd, no, the 4th. I'm sorry, we start. It's the next class
There you
enrollment.
go.
So having that, I'm very to be able to now be offering the WIG program with that enrollment and stuff. Because again, it's just major to be able to watch these students, whether they're in school, college, they're using this time to pave their way through school and take care of their families, become entrepreneurs. Honored to be a part of seeing
Mm-hmm.
some of those same salon when they were in elementary school, and now they're and they're going off to open their own salon. And and I had one young lady, I'm gonna that my niece called me. She said, Miss, she called me Auntie. This girl, Skylar, she's do some major. She does celebrity style in Atlanta, travel all around, and she always talks about you all the time. Do you remember her? I said, I can't remember. She said, you. She said you used to do her hair at the West Boulevard location. Her grandmother used to bring her and her sister there, and she said, you're the reason why she wanted to get into the beauty industry. I said, really? She said, yes. She said, because she saw how you handle certain situations. She says, one day a lady came in, was very rude to you, went off on the stylist, everyone. She said, because of the way you handle yourself with that, and her
Mm-hmm.
grandmother and her sister made her want to get into the beauty industry. So when I hear things like that, it makes me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So again, it's all a part of the process. I enjoy what I'm doing. I thank you so much for having me today. But it's just an amazing feeling to be walking.
No, I'm grateful that you had the time because I know how busy you are to share with us. Now, I'm glad you told us about your why, and I want to ask the people in the audience, put your why in the chat. Put your why in the chat. And we're going to end the session today again by thanking Terese and for sharing her incredible journey. It means a lot to me, and I know you have brought some light to the folks that are in our audience. I see something in chat. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. I don't have questions, time for questions from the audience today, but next week, if you want to send me some questions, I can shoot them to Therese, and I know she'll be happy to
Absolutely,
answer them. Okay, all right. So Therese, this is great.
absolutely.
I enjoyed it. You're always a beacon of light, and I look forward to dinner next week.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. And make sure you guys, if you any questions you have, you can follow me, inbox me on Instagram or Facebook at Terese
There you
Swan
go.
Hutchinson. And I'll definitely get back to any questions and help in any way that I can.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. You know what? If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. And I just want to thank you guys for coming on as well. And as I always end it, click that chat and grow. That's my motto. And thank you so much. And make it a good one.